I wasn't even going to make a video on this, but so many of you asked for an update. The horns are real. I did put them on the car. They look ridiculous. It's absolutely perfect. I didn't realize what was going on, so let me just apologize for it first. Welcome back, the old two-stroker YouTube channel. Today's episode is going to be different. We're not working on nothing, and we're not even dealing with a truck. Today's episode is about this junk. I wasn't even going to make a video on this, but so many of you asked for an update that I thought maybe I would, so let's do an update. I'm going to go to the post office anyway and drop off one of the packages for y'all to order. Appreciate you. It's all the way from Australia. Pretty badass. So yeah, we do ship international, baby. It's kind of messy right now. I like to sit on this here towel. Full Douglas on this deal. But it's an otherwise box stock interior 65 sedan DeVille. You guys, there's a couple videos of it. Me driving it home and blah 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 blah. We took it out. We took the motor out. We were gonna put a Duramax in it. Decided against that. So now has a 6-liter LS. I put the motor together myself. It's painted the Lord's color, so hopefully it stays together. It's really completely stock 6-liter 05 Gen 4 dash 10 feed. It's got Bosch 210 injectors, dash 8 return. The whole fuel system's Magna Fuel regulator, pump. It's a Magna Fuel 750 pump. It's running Terminator X. The engine is pretty much stock. I changed to a TBSS manifold because I needed drive-by-wire. And I gapped the rings, replaced the bent rod with another used rod, didn't even change the bearing, and put a sloppy best cam.
You don't know shit about chop.
And some pack 219s in it. I think that's right. 78 mil VS Racing. So billet 78, 75 is what they call it, Gen 2.5. I'm gonna get the next Gen 1 here shortly. Got a heat shield for the brakes, which has been converted to Hydro Boost, and it also, I converted the car to front disc brake. There's your oil filter there. We had to get real creative with a lot of the locations on stuff, just because for being as large as this car is, there's absolutely no room under this hood. It's all fender. It is intercooled. That's tranny cooler. It has a 4L85E that yours truly built. And yeah, not sure really what else to tell you about it. That's the deal. It's as unassuming gets. Right down to the white walls. I just put a fresh set on. We recently blew a rear. I'll put a couple clips of that in there. Well, fellas, there's our empty case. Here's what's left of it. I think what happened here, the spider gears are still intact. What happened though is one of the cross ones seized to the pin and sheared the pin off. That's what it looks like. I don't think, the reason I say is I don't think that's supposed to look like molten lava in there. And the pin appears to have you can see that was supposed to spin on there. And this one still was until it wasn't. So, I mean, here's the thing. Realistically, this could have been a problem for a while. This thing has been doing posi burnouts for a long time. Well, since I put it together. So it kind of makes me think the rear end was hurt to begin with. Like maybe that spider was seized on that pin. That's why it was doing posi burnouts, and then it just had enough. Ring gear, totally untouched. I mean, other than not having a carrier anymore. It's in surprisingly decent shape. Like, you could run that. I would put that back in if I had to. Clearly, we'd attach it to something else, but this, I don't know how this, yeah, see, that's seized right there, dude. I mean, unless it's a press-through pin, it might be. Actually, it's kind of loose. Might be a press-through pin and it just grenaded. If you watch my Instagram, you will have seen that. So I went to the junkyard, got another factory rear, and painted it alpine green, so hopefully it'll stay together. I believe I'm going to have to put a 9-inch in it, but that's a story for another day. Everything on the dash works the way it did when it was new in 1965. Gen light, oil pressure light, all that shit works, with the exception of speedometer. I don't have that hooked up yet because I need an external box to run it. The Terminator X is hidden in the glove box. I have my display, just jammed a couple magnets on it. It sticks right there. Deleted one of the ashtrays. The green button is 2-step, and the red button is line lock. I have the line lock plumbed a little differently than most people plumb it. So my line lock functions on the rear. Jimmy, get out of there. Line lock's wired into or plumbed into the rear brake line. So rather than holding your brakes on and pushing a line lock and then holding the fronts on, how mine works is before you hit your brake, you put your line lock on and it disables fluid from going to the rear. And what that does is it allows you complete pedal control over the front brakes so that you could do like rolling burnouts. Everything still works. Miles are original. It does have 58,000 original miles on it. I built the exhaust from scratch. It's all hand TIG welded, 4-inch, all the way back. Exits in the factory location. Trunk, I got a spare burnout tire. I was supposed to have 2 of them, but I blew one up. Some tools. Our battery's back here, and that's a fuel pump relay. unassuming, and I gotta tell you, it is an absolute blast to drive. So I'm going to town here, drop this off, and get a sub. Let's go for a ride. The 4L85E right to the factory column shift. All the gears work. It's the only thing that's a little goofy is when the tranny's in reverse, the reverse lights aren't quite on because of the way this all works. Because I'm using the factory switch to turn the lights on instead of the Prindle down on the 85. Heat still works, all that shit. I putt pounded it into submission. Horn still works. She is just a peach. Some of the most fun I've ever had in a car, actually. That is third gear with the converter locked in. That is accurate. 55. I don't have it shifting into fourth until 65 mile an hour just because the rear gear is so steep. Factory gearing on this car is it's got a 321 rear gear in it, which these base model Cadillacs had a 294. And if you bought an AC car, it got a 321 rear gear, so that's what this has. Clock still works. It's wrong because I disconnect the battery often, but the clock does still work. That took me hours to make that work again. Everything works in here, with the exception of radio, but the power antenna does work. It just cruises so nice. Transmission specialties, 28 to 3200 stall converter in it, single disc billet. So that's why it kind of revs up. Way more fun than any friggin' sports car I've ever had. little loud, but you don't really hear it. The window's up. I'll be back. Alright, back cruising. Package has been delivered. So it's an absolute blast the way it is. I can't wait to turn it up. I should have a lot more headroom on E85 to be able to turn the boost up. I don't know what it'll make. I don't know what it makes now, horsepower wise. Like I said, it's still on a base tune. I haven't even optimized timing or fueling yet. I know it goes about 11.5 when I'm in it at 10 pounds, and 11.5 air fuel ratio, I'm saying, and that's right where we need it. It's got like 10 degrees of timing in it, like almost no timing, so it's fun. It's a lot of fun. Now it's warm. I'll show you a two-step quick. Just hold the button down, give her. It'll make 7 pounds in neutral. I don't know if you saw that, but it sounds spicy. Absolute blast. Highly recommend it, fellas. Highly recommend it. Let's see if maybe you can hear the exhaust leaks. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Real bad now, actually. I bet we blew out a... That's that joint down there. Son of a bitch, I bet we put a hole in it. Oh yeah. I see what happened. Hit the cross member. Well, fuck. Doesn't have a ton of blow by. Really not bad. It makes a ton of engine bay temperature. A ton. So that's the reason for the heat shield. Good part about it, that's not even 90 degrees. On the rest of the bay, like, you can hardly even keep your hand in there. Anyway, that's a little update for you on this thing. I just thought maybe you guys would like to see it. It is one of my favorite things that I own. It's just an absolute blast. I really can't describe it, but if you guys are into fast shit and building fun stuff that's boogies, there's nothing better than a big floaty car with way more power than it had stock. Like I said, I'm not sure what it's making, but it's a whole bunch more than what it came with. So thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this update video. Let me know what you think down in the comments. I really appreciate it. Huge thanks to the patrons. In case you're... Oh, wow, look at... Must be getting rowdy, dude. Knocked all the friggin' stones out of there. What a treat. Go on over to old2stroker.com. Get yourself a friggin' Fat Cab hoodie or a Fat Cab t-shirt. 50% of those proceeds go directly to Jason in the race truck. And I'll give you a free liner koozie with every Fat Cab merch purchase. What a treat. I'll just throw it in your order. So, really appreciate your guys' support. He does too. Thanks a ton. I hope you enjoyed this. See you in the next one. Alright, folks. So I just wanted to do an update here because the thumbnail of this video is different than what you saw me driving. The horns are real. I did put them on the car. They look ridiculous. It's absolutely perfect. We used 5-inch chrome. Exhaust clamps from United Pacific. What a treat. I'm real happy with that. Just look at her. Oh yeah. So the reason the horns weren't in the video is because I'd been meaning to put them on since I built the car. I mean, you guys saw them. They were sitting on the hood in the background when the car was in the shop, when it was being built. When I redid that exhaust joint, I rebuilt that entire pipe. You'll see in the video that we blew out. I rebuilt the entire thing. Added another V-band to it also. But when I did that, I had to trip over the horns to get to the welding area. So that was the final straw for that. So now they're on there, not coming off. At least not voluntarily. So that brings me to what I want to tell you about. And I guess we can introduce our new green Mossy Broke. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's a Mossy t-shirt. I'll put a picture. We did them in green. I absolutely love them. New favorite shirt. oldtwostroker.com. Speaking of oldtwostroker.com, I spent the entire week up till midnight redoing the website because so many of you have reached out to me about international shipping. I didn't realize what was going on, so let me just apologize for it first. What was happening is I was using GoDaddy as a provider. They will only quote you priority international rates. You can't get first class package international, and first class package international is like at least half the price. One of you guys bought a Krusty Fat Cab t-shirt the other day from the United Kingdom, and it's a $25 t-shirt. It cost them $66 to get it there. Totally unacceptable. I drew the line there. At great cost to myself, I have completely changed the website to another provider. We're now using Shopify. The website is going to go live tonight with this video, so bear with me if there's growing pains. I've been up far too late for far too long, so I might have missed a thing or two. But I do know that for you international folks, the shipping rates should be substantially more fair. It's quoting me like $30 for that same shipment, $34 I think it was. So I apologize for that, especially to you. There was literally nothing I could do. But I contacted GoDaddy about it. They basically told me to go pound sand. So that's what I did. I pounded sand somewhere else. Money's green. They don't need it if they don't want it. So we're all done over there. Hopefully the new website is a little better and a little bit more fair for the rest of you guys. I know a lot of people reached out, and there was nothing I could do. The shipping costs were astronomical, and now they're a little bit better. So quite a bit better. Hopefully that helps. You guys may or may not know it, but I remember at some point earlier in the year, I had mentioned I was selling that 3408 truck. I listed that 3408 truck on Marketplace, and it sold in an hour. So to commemorate the sale of the 3408 truck and the various Caterpillars we've had around these parts, I kind of like them. Don't tell anybody. I got a fresh new product. You cat guys, you're gonna friggin' love it. What we've got is a Cat diesel power metal emblem. So these have come packaged just like this. I mean, obviously I'll ship them in a bubble envelope so they don't get dinged up or whatever, but Cat diesel power for the side of your 359s or whatever truck you got them in. Good 3M double-sided tape on the back. Ready to go. You're gonna friggin' love it. It's shinier than hell. This is polished nickel and black paint. And if your truck is out in the weather, they are gonna require a little bit of care. You're gonna have to wax them. Any wax is fine, doesn't matter what you use, but the salt and shit will eventually tear that up, and you don't want to have that happen. So make sure you wax it. I don't have them yet, but I ordered like these nice little cards that I could put in with these to tell you how to care for your product, blah 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 blah. Super special, on sale now, old2stroker.com. Pumped to be able to bring you guys this. Let me know what you think down in the comments. We got it on the right track if you guys like them. We're thinking about doing a Detroit Power one. So let me know what you think. Thanks for watching.